Welcome back, everyone, to Pence Politics, Mr. Watson, for this part two of my interview with the wonderful Lily Tang Williams. So, Lily, we left off talking about your experience in American politics, particularly at the state capitol that you went to when you came to America. So, just please start off from there and go as long as you'd like.
Yeah, well, good to see you again, and Christine. That the we left last time. I was talking about when I got laid off by a corporate America. I had the time to get involved with politics. I volunteered to go to state capitol in Colorado and Denver to be an intern with a Republican, I think a budget committee chair. So I learned a lot, but the first day experience was very shocking. I went there, I did not expect inside the state capitol would be like a zoo. Lots of people, and I did not figure out who is who. Then later I was asking who are those people. Then I learned this new word called special interest, lobbyist, arranged thinkers. Like I come home look kind of depressed. My husband said, "What's wrong? Did you have a good day?" I said there were no people representing us, a middle class working family and taxpayers. That was my first day experience at the state capitol. Yeah, so, but I learned a lot, and I enjoy going to the hearings, and that's where I learned to how to, even later speak in 2 or 3 minutes, right? You see those people when they testify, you only get 2 or 3 minutes. You have to fire your points, and
Mm-hmm.
then after that, I think I mentioned that, and I got into HOA and start to learn what is the bottom level of grassroots self-governance, how that works. And then later I got into charter school. When I got laid off, I put my kids out of public school, put them into charter school. That's where I learned, oh, as a parent, you can be actually more involved in your children's education, exercise their parental control and the parental rights by getting involved in a charter school. So I did become the board member. I had to run, and later I was a chair. I think the principal did not do a good job, so I had to call her and to fire a principal. I was kind of very empowering feeling because when I call her to say, sorry, yeah, we're not gonna renew your contract, and she said, "You'll fire me?" I said, yes, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I said, the board decided we're not going to renew your contract. So all those experiences really gave me a good feeling about being an American citizen. I can testify, I can oppose, support bill, I can get involved in your grassroots community at the bottom. And that was a great experience. You learn English, you learn how to also make friends and persuade people with your argument and with the facts and data. That was great.
Wow. Yeah, and you learned very quickly a truth that eludes most Americans, the fact that there's a lot of trash over at the state capitals. There's a lot of nonsense over at the state capitals. You learn that very, very quickly. And I wish most Americans who have access to their state capitals at any time of the day during the session would just go there and see that for themselves. But a lot of people delude themselves, in my opinion, to thinking that, oh, my guy's in office. My guy promised me this, and he's doing it. But in all reality, your guy's serving special interests. um, yeah, but
Well, you're right.
yeah,
You're right. Though people have to get more involved. You have to hold them accountable. I learned the politicians will make promises when they are dealing with their voters, but they don't necessarily keep their promise. They don't necessarily explain to you why they voted for some bills in a certain way.
right,
So I always tell people, do not forget they work for us. So you need to make the individual voters impact. Some people feel like, oh, maybe I just don't, I don't make difference. You do. Each voter, each taxpayer can make difference if you just become politically informed and politically involved. Nowadays, now you can go to Zoom meeting, send a note to ask them support a post bill in 1 minute in your home on computer, on Zoom. even
Yep.
testify on Zoom. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, when you got involved in American politics, what was the feeling like, other than knowing the fact that, hey, you're not in China anymore, you have a voice. What was the feeling like, and what was the biggest lesson that you learned from your involvement in American politics?
Well, I actually learned that I think it started even like early 2000s when I first got involved, and especially later, I feel like some of the terms, the change of language they use, especially from a special interest lobbyists and from the left, I feel like some of the words they're using sounds familiar, and I feel the impression is that lots of people just really rely on government, a bigger and more powerful, a more helpful government, but also more taxes. And since no people really represented the working middle class, so we did not really have much to say in where money is going, spent on what. And so I started to really wake up 2008 when Bush administration, used taxpayers' money, bail out the banks. And also after September 11, remember he passed the Patriot Act,
Yep.
and also the No Child Left Behind, more centralized education. I think during his, even I voted for him as Republican when I first time in 2000, but I become more and more worried, like why is government getting so big and have more and more power over citizens? So I start to really get kind of alarmed by what's going on. I get more upset. The more I know about politics, the more worried I become to say this direction is not good. The governments get bigger and bigger. So the year I become more like a libertarian and thinking independently, it was 2008. I feel like the Republican Party actually abandoned the small limited government principle. So I got involved with Libertarian Party and started to go to their meetings. There were smaller numbers, but there were lots of freedom and loving people. And that's when I got involved with them. And they then told me to say, we needed you testify 2013 to against the gun control. And that was first time I ever went to testify in a public setting. It was long line in state capitol. People were upset about, and Democrats wanted to limit magazines for our AR-15s. I was very scared. So I lined up in long line. And so finally I discovered if I'm gonna just wait there passively, I would never have my voice to be heard because, people there sometimes stay like past midnight. So I was using my Chinese survivor, like the communist, country street smart things to say, I need to get in there earlier. How do I do that? So I went to talk to a group leader of the Rocky Mountain Gun Owner Association, said, can I go in with you? Because he was called as the expert witness to testify, so he did not have to wait in line. So I went in with him, and first time got my voice to be heard. But they voted the party line anyway. And that's the first year I also published my article on National Review Online, say guns against tyranny. I started to tell my stories, absolutely oppose gun control. And of course, Colorado it's moving more and more left, and that was a good lesson for me. Then 2014, I started to run for State House in Colorado. And 2016, I ran for U.S. Senate. I knew I was a Libertarian Party candidate. I could not win, but I just wanted to tell my stories to wake up Americans. Don't go down that path. Bigger and more government and more socialist countries bad for us. I don't want to live that again. And but it seems like, look at where we are today. And after 2016, my race is over. I came to New Hampshire and wanted to check out my other options in the future, where I would like to live. Because to me, freedom, that's where the home is. So the more freedom a state has, the more draw to me. I don't care about, which state. I mean, if Colorado is total blue, I will leave. So that's when I decided I will move to New Hampshire. And we did move 2019.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so Colorado became a little bit too authoritarian for you, so you moved over to New Hampshire. Is that right?
You're right, Colorado. Look at today, even worse. And so I'm glad, actually, I left. I also love New Hampshire. If you have never been here, come here, visit. It's beautiful. Everybody's got lots of land space, hiding in the woods, and you love the free, like live free or die motto, and extremely friendly gun laws where you can conceal carry without permit. You can open carry. So we have constitutional carry. And the people here, lots of natives are very, very free spirited. So I feel like those are my kind of people. Plus, I love big tall trees. And then you have White Mountain, they have rivers, lakes where I can maybe try to learn how to fish, go fishing, And the people are super nice. People say, Lily, why do you want to go to a state with 97% white? Not many Chinese there. I say, well, I'm not a member of identity politics. Why do I have to go where lots of Chinese are? Exactly. I want to go where it has more freedom. I truly trust American people. We're always openly warm and welcoming to me. In Colorado, there's mostly white too. But I did not really experience the discrimination except the one road age. Somebody called me a bad name and I stood up for myself and then she was gone. So it's like, maybe I'm just not too sensitive, I don't play victim. I just stand up for myself. So far, I feel like the New Hampshire people are extremely warm, just like the Texas people when I was in the South. And they cannot judge me based on my skin color, my Chinese face, my accent. And, I make friends, from all over the world here.